Hello everybody, in this video we're going to talk about how to graph a circle. So we're just going to get right into it and look at this example. So we are given the equation of a circle, x squared plus y squared minus 2x plus 6y minus 6 equals 0. We want to find the center of the circle, the radius of the circle, and then we want to graph the circle. Now before we begin, let's think about what our equation, our standard equation of a circle is, and it looks like this. X minus h, quantity squared, plus y minus k, quantity squared, equals r squared. And this equation is super helpful for us in order to graph the circle because we know that the center of the circle, we'll write it over here, the center of the circle is located at h, comma, k, and we know that the radius is r, okay? Now, one thing I want us to notice about this equation here in blue, we have two binomials that are being squared, the square of a binomial. So if we think back to Algebra 1, talking about factoring and multiplying polynomials, the square of a binomial, when multiplied out, gives us a perfect square trinomial. So if we have a perfect square trinomial, we can factor it as the square of a binomial. So let's kind of make a connection of what we're talking about here. We're going to take this equation. So we have x squared plus y squared minus 2x plus 6y minus 6 equals 0. And I want us to notice a couple things. Okay, we have x squared minus 2x. We have y squared plus 6y. We can create two separate perfect square trinomials with those two values that we're given. The first thing we need to do though is we need to add 6 to both sides. Okay, so now we have this x squared, and I'm going to write my like terms next to each other. X squared minus 2x plus y squared plus 6y is equal to 6. Now we're going to use the process of completing the square, and we're going to do it twice. We're going to complete the square for our x terms, and we're going to complete the square for our y terms. So if we complete the square with the x terms, then what we're going to do is look at x squared minus 2x. So remember, to complete the square, we want to take b divided by 2 and then square the result. So this is going to be x squared minus 2x plus, well, b right now is negative 2, divided by 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1, okay? Now, next one, we're going to write plus y squared plus 6y. Now, b in this case is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. So we add 9. Now, this is an equation. We can't just add 1 and add 9 just to one side of the equation. We have to do it to both sides. So since we added 1 and we added 9 to the left side, we also have to add 1 and add 9 to the right side. So now let's simplify. The whole reason we did this was so that we could take our perfect square trinomials and factor them as the square of a binomial. So now, x squared minus 2x plus 1 is going to factor as x minus 1 quantity squared. Okay, it's minus because there's a subtraction, b is negative. Okay, it is x minus 1 because we do b divided by 2 as our second term of our binomial there. So x minus 1 quantity squared plus y plus 3 quantity squared. Why 3? Because b divided by 2 is 3, okay? And now we simplify on the right side. 6 plus 1 plus 9, that's going to give me 16. So now I can identify the two things I need to identify in order to graph my circle. So we'll switch back to blue here. So now I know that 1 and 3, those are part of my, my circle, okay? So now what we can do is we have the center now is located at 1, negative 3. Okay, because h is 1, and since that's y plus 3, then that would be a negative 3 for k that we're plugging in there. Okay, so 1, negative 3. And now our radius, remember this equation is equal to r squared. So how could we write 16 as something squared? Well, it'd be 4 squared, right? So our radius here is 4. So now we're going to use this information here to help us graph this equation right here. Okay, so now we're going to come over here to our coordinate plane. Our center is at 1, negative 1, 2, 3. So there's our center. And our radius is 4. So the best way to do this, go up 4, down 4, right 4, left 4 from your center. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put a dot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to draw my circle. If you're not doing this on a device like I am doing it, if you're doing this on paper, then you can use a compass to help you draw your circle. Okay, so now I'm going to make mine line up here. And so now what we have done is we have found the equation of our circle. So I will circle that here. that was our equation. Make that a little bit better. There we go. So x minus 1 quantity squared plus y plus 3 quantity squared is equal to 16. And that gave us our center, which was 1, -3, and it gave us our radius, which was 4. All right, and so that is how you can use the completing the square method to graph a circle.